you are very hard on this China angle inside
Yes.
the United States, inside
Yep.
military infrastructure. What are your thoughts about the CIA now being given license to go into this region by the Trump administration?
I think President Trump is clearly acting within his rights and responsibilities and constitutional authorities by issuing a finding to our intelligence community. They operate under Title 50 authorities, and what this finding will do, and certainly the public won't know the bounds of this, right? But is it sets left and right limits for what their authorization of force actually looks like. And with the intelligence community, President Trump has the ability to do that.
And it's also, I think, noteworthy. I'd like your thoughts on where you think China is playing in all of this, because yes, we do have a narco-terrorism problem.
Yes.
Yes, the Maduro regime is not a good regime and
Yes.
not our friend.
Yeah.
But there is a China angle I don't see a lot of people talking about when it comes to South America, and it's very much a presence there.
China's all over the place in Central and South America. They've been working averse to our interests for decades, laying a foundation both economically and militarily to counter our influence in the region. They're actually trying to peel our allies one by one away from us, and they're doing it through regimes primarily getting that foothold that aren't our allies, right? Venezuela being one of them. But China comes in, they're working economic overtime in terms of using economics as a weapon. You and I were talking about a facility down in Chile where China came in and said, hey, we're going to pay for this research observatory. We're going to put Chileans to work. It's going to put 400 people to work, and you're going to love it. Chile gave them the authority to do it. As soon as China got the land, they barred Chilean nationals from being on the facility. They built the entire facility with Chinese nationals, and now Chileans are not allowed on that operational facility today. Right? They're doing this all over Central and South America. And so President Trump understands this, and he's taking decisive action to counter it.
You know, but it just seems like, as a pattern worldwide, President Trump is actually engaging in a pretty aggressive form of pushback against China when you think of all these different areas. I mean, when he dropped the bunker busters on Iran,
sure,
that didn't make China very happy. They were pretty silent about it.
Yeah.
They weren't very happy about that.
No, and as your reporting has revealed to everybody, right, China is kind of behind every single global fire that we have going on right now, fanning the flames in some way, shape, or form against American interests and our American allies' interests. And so, no, he's not going to put up with this. The Venezuelans have been directly killing Americans with fentanyl-laced drugs moving from Venezuela, subsidized and certainly provided for by Chinese nationals, and moving that up through the Caribbean into the United States. I mean, look, this last year we lost 70,000 Americans to fentanyl overdose. That is more people than we lost in the entirety of the Vietnam War. These folks are killing Americans. President Trump's exactly right. The soft on drugs line that we've taken for the last 30 years has not been successful. They're killing Americans. We're going to kill them.
Now, this directive from the president, going back to the CIA directive, it's, I guess there are not elements about it that are too unusual when it comes to how we operate overseas against our adversaries. But is there something extra about this particular directive that stands out to you?
I think it's probably just because it's the only thing really going on right now, right? I mean, as President Trump has worked really hard to lower the temperature of global conflict, certainly the historic deal that he struck between Gaza and Israel has taken the temperature down in that region. Still a lot of work to do there, right? But he's certainly trying to turn the temperature down in Ukraine. And so now the focus is kind of on Venezuela. Why do we have 10,000 troops down there? Why do we have, 8 pretty big ships? Why are helicopters flying around? All these different things. And the reality is look, when we designated these narco-terrorists as foreign terrorist organizations, FTOs, that puts them underneath the authorization of use of military force that has already existed to counter terrorism all over the world since 2001 when we had terrorists hit the World Trade Towers, right? And so it puts them into an entirely new category. And watch out, because he means business with this. He's got the ability, he's got the authority to hold these narco-terrorists accountable.
You've had a long career in the national security space and the military space. How would you characterize the way that President Trump is utilizing his military and utilizing his intelligence in particular, as opposed to prior administrations?
I would say, number one, he listens, but number two, he acts decisively.